I guess the spoiler is just buy every month and set a budget. That's kind of how I've always thought of stacking. It's over time this stuff goes up in value, and it's a great way to save your money. And dollar cost averaging, I guess, has been my philosophy. I never really paid attention to it that much, but I know there's a lot of new people to stacking precious metals, and they don't know where to get started or what to do. And I always tell people, just go to your local coin shop, buy two of the cheapest pieces of silver, not premium, not fancy stuff, the cheapest that you won't feel bad about clanking together, and figure out how much you want to spend per month, and treat it like a bill that you have to pay, like the water bill, car payment, whatever. And if you don't have a lot of money, maybe it's $40 a month you could put towards precious metals, and you can get an ounce of silver for that, or under that right now. Eventually you might have to raise it to something else. I had a very high budget for several years, and so I ended up getting a lot of random stuff. A lot of this stuff, this is newer stuff here, but a lot of these things, like these APMEX things, I might have only paid 10 or 20 bucks for. Probably paid like, I don't know how much I paid for stuff like this, but I never really paid attention because I just keep buying it. Now I could go to a coin shop right now and sell this. I'm not sure what spot price is right now. If it's 36, they'll give me at least $2 under spot, so probably 34 bucks. A lot of places will pay me more than that. And so it's not like a short-term thing. You're not gonna buy this stuff and then sell it next year for triple the price. So it just seems that I've always treated it like a bill that I had to pay. And eventually it got to a point where I gave myself a mandate, or whatever you call it, or a requirement to buy a certain number of ounces per month. And so that affected my budget depending on what I was doing or how much I made that month. So, and there was several years where I had a requirement that I buy 1 ounce of gold per month and a minimum of 20 ounces of silver per month. And so it really added up fast. And I know that most people can't do that, but I'm not doing it now. Now I'm hardly buying much at all. Mainly what I'm buying now is just vintage stuff. I'll look for things that are in the junk bin at the local coin shop that's collectible, that I can get for the same price as one of these generic bars. And I normally don't stack bars. I hardly ever buy modern bars. Actually, I never buy modern bars unless there's something new and exciting that's come out, like this Pamps. We started making bars in the United States, so I just had to get one for myself. It doesn't have, I mean, it might be worth 50 cents more than any of these others. It has the same amount of silver in it as all the others. This is a Silver Town. This is a more modern one. Christmassy theme. This I think I got out of a junk bin. But this I paid for, and I actually paid, I think, about $1 more for this than I could of the other stuff. And I did it just mainly for YouTube content, something to show on the channel. And so it just starts adding up over time, and it's a good way to save money and not, if you have cash at your disposal, if you have all your money in this, it's super easy to spend this. You have to take an extra step with this stuff, and actually I have to go to a coin shop and do all that business. And so that's kind of why I like it. It puts a barrier for myself up. And so you always would need a cash buffer, because you don't want to have to sell this. If you have to sell this in an emergency, then odds are you're going to end up losing money, because it's Murphy's Law dictates it's going to come when you least want it to come, that whatever emergency it is. And so I keep a certain amount of cash available so that I can pay my bills in case I lose my job or I'm not unable to work, get injured or something like that, because I don't want to have to sell this stuff in an emergency. And I need a better storage solution for these bars. Actually, these generic things, I'm probably going to sell them, because I think it's also important to practice selling things. And a lot of these things I got for so cheap that I'm in the money. I'd rather, actually this one I probably should ask Mishy Stacker if he wants to trade something for. He probably already has this. He collects everything Michigan. So I'll tag him. Mishy, if you don't have this, let me know if you got a Halloween themed bar. I'll trade you. A lot of times in the junk bin, right next to a generic Asahi, a lot of times you can find like an Engelhardt right next to it in the same bin for the same price. Some coin shops will segregate these and charge more for them, but these are more collectible. A collector will pay for these. They'll pay more for these. So these kind of things you want to separate out from the generic stuff. I forgot where I was going with this. I guess if you allocate, like even 50 to 100 bucks a month, it trains you to save first and spend later. So it feels rewarding. After a while, this stuff really starts adding up like crazy. And before you know it, you're sorting through bars on YouTube and and having fun with it. So some of these things I'm not sure what I'm going to do with. Like this Kitco bar, I'll probably save it. And the Pamp, this thing has a really good collector value, and it doesn't fit in a capsule, or I would already put it in a capsule. But all this stuff, over time, some of these Engleharts I probably paid $7 or $8 for, and I could sell them for over $40 now because they're more collectible. Actually, this one I got from Silver Bar Stacker recently. And so I just kind of separate the ones that I know have a collector premium to them. The vintage ones, from anything from the 1970s and early 80s, is going to have a little bit more value. Even though there's a lot of people that just say it's all the same, it's all worth the same. And to their credit, if I take this into a coin shop to sell it, they will give me the exact same amount as they will for any of the generic stuff, even though this does have a higher premium. So these you have to find a seller for, or a buyer for. You're not going to be, you don't want to sell these to a coin shop. So yeah, so in that regards, yeah, the people that say that it's all worth the same are correct. There's oh yeah, this one's a really collectible one. Check that out. It doesn't fit into a capsule, so it's got to go into this bar box. But these things you can sell to other people, to other collectors for quite a bit more. And if you're looking to sell them right away, then I don't think there's really a good market for flipping things. I know there's people on Whatnot that, some of them are a ripoff. Some of these people they'll be like telling you this generic buffalo. This should be a $50 buffalo. Well, this is generic. This is the cheapest. You should be able to get these close to spot price, not for $50. But some people sell some collectible stuff, like Silver Bar Stacker. I bought a few Engelhardt items from him that I wanted for my collection. But I think that people that buy this stuff, like even this collectible Engelhardt, if you buy it at a local coin shop in their junk bin for $37 and it's worth $45, you got to find the guy. It's not worth the $7 to hunt a person down to sell it to. So it's better just to save these things for the long term, because over time they also appreciate in value, and then the collectability on these rise as well. So they kind of separate themselves from the spot market. Same with like these 73 Great Lakes Mint. This is the 150th anniversary of the Texas Rangers. Another one that doesn't fit in a capsule, so it goes into this box. So this box, I'm just kind of putting more collectible stuff. Here's Metal Arts. I found this in a junk bin at a coin shop. I think it was about 25 bucks or something. But I could take this back to the same coin shop and sell it for 34. Even though it's worth more than that, I could sell it to a collector for more. And as these get more and more rare, and as more and more people get into the collecting side of vintage art bars, then the premium can go up from there. Eventually, I think that coin shops will start paying up for these things and not just treating them as generics, even though a lot of people might think, no, it's impossible, they're just greedy business people. But eventually, they're going to get enough people going into their shop looking for this stuff to where, and if they have people just walking out again saying, hey, I want to buy stuff from you, but you don't have anything that I want, eventually they're going to have to start acquiring this to resell. And people are going to start getting switched on to things like, hey, this is worth more. I'm not going to sell that to the coin shop. So anyway, that's a long ramble, isn't it? Let me know what you think. I'm not a big fan of bars other than the vintage, the actual art bars like this here. I love the art bars because there's a little bit of story to them, some nostalgia, and pop culture things that were going on in the 70s. Watergate, things like that. Just makes it a little bit more fun. And if you can find them for the same price as the generic stuff, the same price as these Buffaloes, you'd be crazy not to buy them. It's just, for me, I don't think I'm going to be flipping these things. I'll save them, and then eventually some of them I'll pass down, but most of them I'll probably trade to other collectors. Some things, there's like some certain bars you can trade to another stacker, but they'll say, hey, I'll give you 2 ounces of silver for that one silver bar. Or some of them are worth hundreds of dollars, and those you probably could flip. But anyway, I'm starting to lose my track of thought. I need to get some electrolytes. And I will talk to you guys later. Hope you're having a great day. I got to sort through some vintage stuff later. Anyway, I guess I might as well turn the camera on that for that too. Anyway, go find some silver. Make it a monthly habit. Set a budget and treat it like a bill. Pay it every month to yourself. Robert Kiyosaki even said that in his book. Pay yourself first.